You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope Break.
And another show of NXT, another Wednesday. We're going to be talking about a lot of, more build-up for what is going to be Takeover, Stand and Delivery. Like, all the matches pretty much announced. Some more great stuff. They have really great matches and they have added more stipulations to it. So, pretty, I would say, average show of NXT. I don't think it was terrible, but at least the last segment was pretty good. But as it had to be all the way to 10:15, come on, NXT. No more Wednesday Night Wars. You're going to go to Tuesdays. Can we actually end in peace? Paul, tell me about
it. And if you're, to touch on that, if you're going to make the show have a run over, at least make it to be something we want to see. Now, everything that was in the run over was great. The contract signing for Cole and O'Reilly, but you could have cut a lot of bullshit and ended the show right at 10 and still gave us the contract signing. But yeah, for what NXT's been giving us these past few months since we lost, Lucius and all the other legit people, Matt Riddle, all these guys that made NXT feel good. This has been an average show, but for if I'm watching this, just as a wrestling show, not a very good show.
No, not a very good show, but what is good is every single one of you that is watching us, every single one of you that is supporting us. So thank you so very much, like Paul and I are saying. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for commenting, thank you for liking everything that we do, either on Facebook, on, also Instagram, also Twitter, every single one of the social media. So thank you so very much. Always also thankful for the support on this video. Monday Night Raw review with Jean-Paul Leck. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss won on the Wrestlemania. They got the match. Fiend is finally back. A lot of attention from Randy Orton's wife because of the thing that happened with Alexa Bliss. And supposedly he had legit hit, from what happened. And she sent a tweet, and actually it was legit. She didn't like how Alexa Bliss was on top of Randy Orton. We wanted to be Randy Orton for the first time in our lives. So all of that, but supposedly he was all calming her down. So everything's good on that. So please watch the review with Jean-Paul. WrestleMania is in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. And, we're kind of excited about matches, and, we want to watch this review, Paul. So now tell me about, the beginning of this show, not even music already, they were already the wrestlers in the ring, and this is Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and you predicted this. You predicted this. It's look, next week we're going to have a match with, Zoe Starks and Io Shirai. Oh, Paul, there you go. Are you booking NXT now?
Maybe Triple H and whoever are just coming and they're like, oh shit, what's Rope Break saying? Maybe we should go with that. But see, I said that they're gonna do this, but I said it in a way that please don't do this because it's lazy booking. It's just okay, we got 2 weeks. So how can we drag this feud? Okay, we'll just do a useless tag match. And that's all this was. Zoe Starks looked pretty good in here. I thought, she was obviously the one who was, selling more. She was the one who was getting beat up. The hot tags were going to the champion, Io. But, with all that being said, she still looked really good. I think she has a good future, especially after, and I've been saying it for weeks, WrestleMania, there'll be a lot of call-ups. So then I think she'll be one of the women who's featured more prominently. But this match really didn't do anything for me because you knew, okay, the heels are probably going to win. They're going to look good. Oh, is Raquel going to... You got to hype it up. Got to make her look good going into the match at Stand and Deliver. And, that's pretty much what they did here. So,
really and then choke slam, really nice.
Yeah, and she had
I like Zoe Starks. I like her.
I just didn't like it was really awkward. She picks up Starks for the slam. Io hops up on the apron and she's like, subscribe to Rope Break, all this other bullshit she's saying. And then she awkwardly just rams Zoe Starks into her and then slams her 1, 2, 3. I'm like, after all that, couldn't Starks have somehow, maybe got out of the hold, or Io grabs her leg and, pulls her out of it. It was just really awkward. It's to get Raquel over, but when it's done so awkwardly and all this, does it really get anybody over? And
at least after this, now you said the match wasn't that great. Nothing really kind of importance came out of the match, but this is, we always say this because we do all these shows. You always, the match don't even make sense. They're not that meaningful, but what happens after, post matches must the thing that actually sends the message or the statement is this. Raquel staring down Io, and then she attacked Io, then she did another chokeslam on top of the announcers like table and everything. So like you saw how Io was like really in pain. Raquel looks dominant, and of course the Big Joseph and also Barrett and Beth Phoenix were saying, oh, like they were saying she's sending a message, and you can see Io done. So pretty much it's like she's trying to sell that like she overpowers Io in every single way. So like she's gonna have the advantage at Takeover.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna see now. Here we go. Let's see if I can be right 2 weeks in a row. I'm sure Io is gonna jump them next week. Maybe beat her down in a backstage interview segment or something like that. So then it'll just be like a tit for tat kind of deal. And then until we get to the Takeover, where hopefully Raquel wins, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, like prediction is right there. So this is on tape. This is tape. So like he says, if there's a jump, this guy is like subtling, like low key writing this show. Okay, so and that's why
I wish I was.
Yeah.
Give me the book.
Let's move to the next one, and then like Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. This is like pretty much the hottest feud. Even I would say better than Karrion Kross and Finn Balor, because take out the title from those guys, and is it really a good feud between the two? Probably not, but this is more personal. Two best friends, John Paul and myself, going at each other. It's like, we did everything for road break, and then all of a sudden John Paul decides to like jump me, and like he hated that I had a title match. So like all of that, you see like the big tension, and also like then Roderick Strong goes to Kyle and is like, bro, maybe like mended, or like this is not about like how about this be there? Let's get the band back together. Or, you see Roderick Strong kind of in defense, of both and everything. But finally, Roderick Strong came to his senses, and he's like, both of you go to hell to both of you. So pretty much undisputed era. And don't you think that Bobby Fish is like, so where am I coming back to? Hey guys, is it done?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe because it does seem like the undisputed era is split. And that could be another thing, too, after WrestleMania. Maybe Cole gets called up. Maybe they call up, two of the guys, and then the other two stay in NXT. Maybe they call them all up. Who knows? But I think, and we always say, you can always get the band back together after a few years. Time heals all the wounds. But for right now, for the next, for foreseeable future, they're probably going to be split. But if you don't have anything to do with Strong and Fish, put them together. But, I do like this by Roderick Strong. Now, he's like, you pretty much like, you guys are tearing this family apart. He's all like, I'm done. Screw you guys.
He's trying to be the voice of reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's like,
let's give it one more shot, guys. Why don't we just sit down and eat a meal? No, done. All right, and then fuck both of you. The hell to both of you. We don't say fuck to this guy. This is legit. Like the cruiserweight champion. Is he really the cruiserweight champion? We're gonna find out at Takeover. He says he's gonna have a match against Kushida. So this was good. Like at least two great wrestlers together combined. He's been having really great matches. Trent Seven. Also like Nathan Fraser. All of them. And now Kushida. So you see this guy is like having really prominent matches with like really high caliber wrestlers. So good for Jordan Devlin. So let's go to the main, to me, one of the worst parts of the show. LA Knight, all the hype. All the hype for Eli Drake, like Bronson Reed. We said Bronson is going to job. I even texted you. Bronson's going to job to like, Eli Drake or LA Knight. And no, it turned out that it didn't do that. He was the one that jobbed to Bronson.
Yeah, I mean, was Bronson Reed one of the guys who we said, oh, he's legit, push him, all this stuff? Yes. But he should be getting victories over like Tyler Gray or like whatever the hell those mid-card guys with
exactly.
with Malcolm Bivens are. Those are the guys he should be beating up. Beat up those guys. Oh, okay, he had the thing with Isaiah Swerve Scott, I believe, a little bit ago. Do kind of stuff like that. But you bring in LA Knight. He's supposed to be the hottest free agent. That's what they were selling him as a couple weeks ago. He loses here. I mean, maybe they're probably going to book this match at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. LA Knight will get his win back. But again, 50-50 booking. So a guy wins, and then the other guy wins, so you're still even. Exactly. What is it, that it doesn't prove anything? And this was just, was the match good? Yeah, Bronson Reed is super athletic for his size. Eli Drake, LA Knight, we've been fans of his since, we've seen him how many years ago?
NWA,
yeah. So the guy's, the guy's legit, but I really don't know what to say, for having him lose. It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
No, because especially, like you said, hottest free agent, and another thing that, like, this guy is probably one of the best promos on NXT. And, the guy's been there for, 3 weeks? And, I believe everything he says. He comes out really good. Like, the way that, like, he cuts the promo is so, like, natural. It's organic. It's probably how he really talks in real life. So, for him to lose, the tsunami right there, the big splash, is really So how am I supposed to like? Is he gonna be buried just because he came from Impact and NWA? Is that why you just do this? I just don't like this. And like you said, what are you want to do with Bronson? If he gets the win, why they're gonna go another match like you mentioned? Like, no, I didn't like this. LA Knight is supposed to be like the guy, like he's supposed to be rising after all these guys.
Exactly. Maybe, this should be something. This should be for the North American title. Instead, that's on Johnny Loser Gargano, and his challenger is going to be pretty much dead, and nobody cares about him. Dexter Lumis.
Oh yeah, well yeah, we're going to find out like all about that. But like, remember what we said also like on Raw Break. There you go. The tag team belts were like vacated. Well, unfortunately, Birch is like injured, so he has dislocated shoulder, same injury that like Karen Cross had once he beat Keith Lucius Lee. So like I said, Jean Paul, why don't we have the match against MSK and Grills Young Veterans? Why are the Legado del Fantasma added to this?
Well, come on. Think about it. Why was Sean Spears added to that Baron Corbin AJ Styles match? Why for the North American title years and years ago? Why did they always add? No offense to Legado, because we love them, but why do they always add a jobber? Or enhancement? So they can eat the pin, exactly. So I could see, hopefully, our boys, as much as we like MSK or more, that the character is more an Impact, I like better. But hopefully the Grizzled Young Veterans, as much as I like them, hopefully the Grizzled Young Veterans win this. I think they deserve it, and because they're legit in the ring and legit on the mic.
And also, and for that key reason, like they're easier, like they can stand on their own. And that's for me more attractive because they can chase.
But the one thing I will say, if I had complete control, these guys would be in NXT UK leading that division.
Yeah, also.
I wouldn't have them over here. I would create legit tag teams in NXT's own brand instead of taking all the top guys from UK and making UK be like, oh shit, I guess we got to create new top guys because you keep taking all.
It's like that team that you guys like really great players, but like because they don't have a lot of budget. Or, they're not as powerful as like NXT. We're going to steal them. And then you got to keep making them. Exactly. So, like, I agree with you. So, let's go to the next one. It was going to be Walter against Drake Maverick. This was like, what, 2 seconds? 3 seconds?
Yeah, because you saw, and, if you're like, why the hell is this even happening? Because Killian Dane is missing. Timothy Thatcher is missing. So, Drake Maverick, he's blaming.
All COVID related.
Yeah, he's blaming... what Imperium? I couldn't think of the name. He's blaming Imperium, so he's like swinging a golf club at him. And Eichner and Bartel are like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you being bullshit?" And then he's like, "Oh, give me Killian Dane." And Walter shows up, and he's like, "What are you doing, midget?" He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Huh?" He's like, "What are you trying to be tough?" And then he's like, "So." And then they booked this match, and he's like, "Oh, I'll take care of you tomorrow," because that was, I guess on Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. Yes, that was yesterday.
So and like you said, this match, he comes at him. Nothing. Boom. Power bomb. He puts him in like a one-leg Boston Crab. Whatever. Done. Done. And the ref stopped it. And I like how they even said due to ref stoppage, the winner's Walter. So it was quick. Like you say, you blink, you missed it, and that's how it needed to be.
Yes.
But again, and we'll take us through what happened, and then I'll say.
No, and after that, we like he's attacking, and then of course we got to see Tommaso Ciampa, his theme song, and he comes out, and then he says, "Well, you know what? What intrigues me, Jean Paul? What intrigues me, Volta? It intrigues me like this title. Like you see, they have their stare down. Says intriguing. What about we don't do this at NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver? Like a match for the UK Championship. So this bothers me, and I'll tell you why. Because again, you can be making me believe that like he can be in 2 places at the same time. So why you promote the one show knowing that the other show is tape? I don't like that because it's trying to tell me that I don't watch both shows. So it's like, do I either one watch or the other? Because like this is gonna happen on night 1 of NXT Takeover, and then on night 2 is supposed to be on third. On during the afternoon is gonna be NXT Prelude, UK Prelude, and then he's gonna be defending against Rampage Brown. So
if I was Rampage Brown, I'd be going to Twitter tweeting at NXT at Tommaso Ciampa, be like, you want to get in line? Grandpa, like, did somebody let you out of the nursing home? Do you need some, Jess for Men, touch of gray? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, yeah,
it's just like this. This doesn't make any. Ciampa has no business being in this. This is hopefully they're only. I swear, if they give him the title, NXT UK. I'm sorry, but that show's going to go downhill. Nothing against Ciampa, but it's called NXT UK. If you want to bring in other people that aren't in NXT UK, like, Mako Satomura, clearly she's not from, Britain or from the UK, that's fine. But like, Ciampa is a star on this show. Mako made her, WWE debut in that brand. It's not like Ciampa made his debut in that brand and everything. It's different. But hopefully they don't give him the belt because he shouldn't be the champ of that brand. So hopefully this is just maybe to get Walter over and to give Ciampa a match at the pay-per-view because
I feel that like you're going the route. They're going the exact route that they're going to do it. And, like, of course, the huge chop. But like you said, for me, this is already tainted. Why? Because, like, I want Rampage Brown to win.
Exactly.
So I know that, like, if he retains here, it means that, like, he won also at, like, Prelude. You know what I mean? So, like, why don't they have the Prelude maybe, like, 2 weeks after WrestleMania?
Yeah, unless, like you said, if Prelude's taped, maybe maybe Rampage Brown already won it. And he is, he's already champion, but he's really not because that didn't air yet. So Walter is just carrying the belt. He's going to do this. He's going to beat Ciampa, boom, and then lose it to Rampage. I mean, we don't know. But it's just so shitty. Why do pre-tape and have this guy fly and do all this stuff? Just keep him on NXT UK. Have him drop the belt and then bring him over.
Thank you. That's what makes sense. Thank you so much, because that's what really they should have done it. But unfortunately, they didn't. So let's move on to Karrion. Our boy Karrion is going to go against Oney Lorcan because Oney Lorcan was pissed because of what happened. Because of him, all that bad match that they had last week for the main event. His friend Burgess, like, separated his shoulder one more time. We mentioned that. And so he's going to be out for, like, what, 6 months or so?
So he was pissed.
The titles.
Yes, exactly. And I thought this match was actually pretty good. The only thing is Oney Lorcan looked good, but that was a problem because he looked good. Shouldn't have, we've seen Karrion destroy, the guy we were just talking about, Tommaso Ciampa, in half the time that it took him to beat Oney Lorcan.
Oh, yeah.
When he had that match at the whichever takeover that was.
No takeover.
He
beat him
real quick.
In your house, was it? Yes.
Yeah, there you go. He beat him real quick, and it was like, oh damn. Then this match, Lorcan gets a good amount of offense in, going after the shoulder. Karrion Kross is selling the shoulder, especially the facials. Like, oh my God, my shoulder. And it's like, I like Oney Lorcan, but shouldn't you be kicking this guy's ass?
Yeah,
shouldn't this be like a 3-minute match and done?
Should have been quicker. Should have been a lot quicker. So he got, like, of course, Saito suplex. Then he did, like, the new, like, strike that he needs in the neck, like 1, 2, 3. He wins. He picks up the win, and then he's talking to Finn Balor. He says, when I hold, like, your that little, like, small head that you have, Balor. So Balor comes out, and then he actually mentions, like, last week you gave me your best shot, but the princess is still standing. So now I know what your weakness is. And he mentioned the word demon. So is that made you think that, like, he might be bringing the demon back, or no? Was that a tease, or it was just a line that they just added just because?
I think you definitely could still do it because WWE doesn't care about the long build. They'll give you the build in 1 week, and you're supposed to be like, oh my God, excited. They just fast track everything. So we could see the demon. That is a definite possibility. But see, I would have liked to see it where something maybe Karrion beat him. And then Karrion had the belt, and then it's like, he was champion. Now, that would be a bullshit flip-flop, but, maybe he beats Balor the Man, and then Balor beats him with the demon, or it should have been something where he beat Balor down, before the match, and it's like, oh, Balor's in the hospital, oh, he can't show up, blah, 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 who's going to be there for this title match, what's going on, is he going to show, and then the demon comes out, and it's like, oh my God, that's not even Finn Balor, it's the demon kind of deal. You could have sold it something like that. But we'll see. I like the line where Balor says, like, you just let your emotions get, control of you, blah, blah, blah. And something about, like, you're going to just drown, in the water in your emotions or something.
That makes you vulnerable, he says. Yeah, he says, like, people are controlled by emotions, and some people, like, call them, like inside demons, but they're only emotions. Like, you're still fight with your emotions, and that's what makes you weak. That's your weakness. But, like, for me, it's like I'm more calculated. Pretty much, he says, I fight, with my strategy, and that's it. There's no emotion behind it. Kind of, I remember what, like, Walters told, like, Dragunov, similar, very similar to that, and they got a big stare down. So really cool picture, and like you said, I'm really excited about this. It's gonna be a great match, but, like, maybe it's a tease from the demon. It could be. I'm not saying it will be, but hey, it will be, like you said. If he brings the demon, maybe Karrion, you said, he beats Karrion, and Karrion goes to the main roster, and we're all good. That could be easy. What could be happening at NXT Takeover Stand and Delivery.
Now, if you definitely want to make it a memorable match, make it feel like super special, then that's what you'll do. But we'll see. I'm still looking. Whenever they do, I'm looking forward to it.
No, look at that. A big stare down, good stop. So now let's go to Kushida. Kushida is like saying, he's really excited, because he's going to be fighting Jordan Devlin. He respects him, but tonight he's going to beat him. So I love Kushida. Can you do something better with this guy? That would be amazing if they will give him like something meaningful to fight for. Maybe another championship match. He beat the Velveteen Dream. He beat Ciampa. Can we get him like a chance of gold? Hopefully, we'll see that. But let's go, Paul. So like the next week is going to be a battle royal. These 12 men are going to be fighting for like a chance to be, the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship. And the last 6, are going to be remaining. They're going to be fighting in night 1 of NXT Takeover Stand and Delivery, and whoever wins from those, then they're gonna go advance to night 2, and they're gonna face Johnny Gargano. So, what do you think of this?
I mean, it's battle royals are a good way when you're not booking legit feuds, creating number one contenders. So you just do a battle royal. I mean, the whole thing where it's like, the final 6, kind of like a tournament kind of thing. It's like that's all right. It's a good group of guys they got there. I think, the main 6, it should be Pete Dunne, Kushida, hopefully LA Knight, Bronson Reed, Loomis probably, even though Loomis to me I could care less for him at all. To me, the character's done and all that stuff.
Or maybe Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong, I think, Pete Dunne. There's lots of, good guys in this group, so I'm looking forward to it. Swerve Scott, so we'll wait and see. But, I mean, Battle Royals, like I said, it's like a little bit lazy, but, I guess it is what it is.
A little bit of Lacey Evans, right? And then we got our boy Johnny, and our boy Johnny was also like, hey, why are you doing this to me? I'm going to just have, like, not even 24 hours to, like, prepare for my number for the person I want to be facing at TakeOver. And then Regal goes, aren't you, like, Johnny TakeOver? Aren't you legit enough? So, like you said, it's like, Gargano, like, I would much rather him to see him presented more legit, more serious, and that's why the North American Championship value has devalued, no pun intended, but that's what has happened to this.
Heel Gargano is awful. I wanted to give it a chance at first. I thought, okay, we'll be legit. No, he needs to be back as a babyface. He's awful as a heel.
Yeah, they take away the title, give it to LA Knight. LA Knight will those promo work is going to be just great, and maybe against Loomis.
But also, if let's say LA Knight wins this and he wins the belt, I'll be like, okay, yeah, you won a battle royal, you won the belt, but didn't you just get beat up by Bronson Reed 2 weeks ago?
There you go. So like exactly, like you don't know how to keep your really good guys hot, and that's a big problem. So let's go with like the NXT. Tag team championships for the women, and then it was noted that Mercedes Martinez was also like going to be tagging with Aaliyah because Jessica Maya, she was injured. She was sidelined with an injury, so that's why like they had to pay Mercedes Martinez to be part of like the Robert Stone brand one more time. And this match was just pretty quick. There was no reason, there was no way that they were going to do a title switch with this. It was just they wanted like just have a tag team championship match. That was all it was. I mean, Mercedes looked really good. She's a really great wrestler, but again, any single brand that she's going to be featured on, can she have a decent chance of winning the championship? I don't know. I don't know how you can put all the faith, because I know you like her, like everybody does, but like, can you trust her with a title? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they I feel like and it's a shame. I feel like the closest she had to a title opportunity was that triple threat.
Yes.
And then done. And, we get this match, and a match didn't even make sense. What did Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea do to even earn a title opportunity? And I don't know how you feel, but I hate, and despise that every time a babyface wins a title, I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm going to defend every opportunity I have. Why? Are you getting paid more? It's a predetermined show. I'm sorry to say, you're not defending it. The people who write the show and are booking it are just having you win these matches. You're not actually proving how strong and how legit you are in a real fight and winning. No, save it for the takeovers, save it for special occasions, because if you defend the title each and every week, a title defense don't feel special.
It doesn't look exactly like, that's how you should book the shows. Like that's why your pay-per-views are called pay-per-views, because that's where you
Mhm.
defend the titles. I mean, every now and then, every 3 weeks, every like a month, let's say, if you don't have a pay-per-view, yeah, do a special show, defend the championship then. But like
Mhm.
not like everybody, I want to be John Cena, I want to be Jordan Devlin, I want to defend everybody. I want to be Cody Rhodes, AEW. There you go. Like, yeah, it's just an idea that like for some reason somebody said and it stuck out with everybody. And like you said, pretty much eclipse done. Mercedes didn't even take the pin. Aaliyah took the pin. Why? Because of course Mercedes, like, they're trying to protect her, but for what? Because there's no really. If you're not going to give her the title, then why do you protect Mercedes? I mean, she came back to NXT. It's great, but like again, we didn't see Tony Storm this week. Xia Li, we didn't see her at all. So all of that again, like the show. I mean, ever since like writers, like regular writers took the charge of writing this show, it completely fell. Like the quality fell. I mean, the wrestlers are still good and giving good matches, but the quality of the storytelling is really,
Yeah,
really bad.
and I think NXT still has the best women's division, but I do not need to see two women's tag matches in one show.
Yeah,
Give me
exactly.
legit single feuds. Give me storylines that actually mean something, not just two tag matches where it's like okay.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. And there you go. For example, like this guy, he's funny enough. He's good, but do you need to present him in a comedy way, comedic way every single time you see the guy? No, because then I believe that he's a like walking joke, and I don't want to believe that Cameron Grimes is that. So he goes to Roderick Strong. Hey, we can have the Undisputed Era. We can have like all like, all the logos, all like the shirts, all of that. And it's about it. We're not gonna call it really Undisputed. We're just gonna call it like Cameron Grimes or whatever. And Roderick Strong just beat his ass. There you go.
Yeah,
So like
and then he got like you said. We want this guy's a great wrestler. That's the thing. It's not like he's a joke, but he's funny. He has comedic value, so that's all they cash in on. And this
yeah,
is another guy. He should have been North American champion. He should, especially with now the suit and he has the money. He could have been like, oh, look at Cameron Grimes styling and profiling, woo, but try to like imitate Ric
Ric
Flair and all
Flair,
that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
because he already did the $1 million Man. Might as well do Ric Flair, and then that would be perfect feud for Kushida. LA Knight, somebody like that, a North American championship feud legit. Instead, Roderick Strong punches him out and he just cries on the floor like a baby.
And there you go. So like again, you have like the guy has stocks, but though you don't know
He
how.
legit has stocks. That's how he got
Yeah,
his money.
it is legit. It's absolutely legit. It's not even like storyline. He legit bought like stocks on like GameStop. He has money, but like tell me like he's committed enough. Tell me that he can actually be a performer in the ring, which we know. But tell me, reassure me every single week. But let's go over like you said, Ciampa and Walter are going to be defending the. He's going to have in the match at NXT Takeover Deliver, and then it's going to be night one. There you go. There's the picture for you, family. Io Shirai, Raquel is going to headline that night. Then Walter and Ciampa, the Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match, and the number one contender is Gauntlet Match Eliminator. That is going to be like whoever the last six, like we said, the last six that like are in the Battle Royal, they're going to be fighting in this one. So what you think that night one pretty decent, right? I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the women's championship match will be all right. I don't think it'll be that, fantastic or anything. I think the UK championship match, even though we have a lot of hate for it, I think will be a great match. Even better if Walter wins. If Ciampa wins, I think that'll definitely taint it. And the tag team triple threat match, I think will be pretty good. And the number one contender gauntlet eliminator should also be pretty good. Lots of very talented guys in there. It's just interesting to see who's going to be the final six.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely right. So now let's go with night two, and that's Finn Balor, Karen Cross for the title. That's going to be headline. That's going to be on Peacock. So family, if you're going to look on like USA, you're not going to find it. So please, keep that in mind. Also, Cruiserweight Championship unification match, Santos Escobar against Jordan Devlin. That's going to steal the show for me. That's pretty much like that's because it's like everything that like the whole story is right there for you. The one champion here in North America, the other champion in Europe, finally unificating that title, and whoever comes out is going to be the main Cruiserweight champion. Johnny Gargano against whoever won the Eliminator. So and then they're going to add one more match that we're going to talk about by the end of the show. So night two seems to be pretty legit also. But for example, I'm pretty sure they're going to add like a women's match also. You'll see that.
I'm sure it'll be
You're not
some.
gonna have this guy.
And again, no offense to the women, but I'm sure it'll be a women's tag team championship match that I could care less about.
And we already know who it's going to be. Like you said, it's going to be Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae against Shotzi and Amber Moon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let me just book for you for this time. Allow me to please.
Yeah, here I'll give you the pen.
there you go.
Take it over and
there you go. So let's go to the next one, and that was Jordan Devlin and Kushida. Good match. Interactions between these two guys, absolutely great. But again, Kushida dropped out. Can you just trust him? I would have much rather to see that, Devlin being, pinned, but because there was interference. And if you see interference, Legado del Fantasma with Santos Escobar were right there to just watch the match. So that's when you easily use that. So Jordan Devlin loses, but you just, get in the pin if you're distracted. It doesn't hurt you at all. At least for me, from my understanding, I don't think that it should hurt you. Don't you think?
I mean, if you're gonna bring out Legado and kind of have heat and all this stuff going into it, it should have been flipped. It should have been Devlin got distracted, Kushida took advantage and got the pin. Because then Kushida could have, did the thing, I roll out of the ring, I won, go to the back, celebrate that he beat the champion. But, Devlin doesn't really care because his opponent and his group caused him to lose this match. So, that's where the main heat should be. Instead, Devlin wins, and Devlin's still the champ. This was obviously non-title. He's still the champ. He's still having his match with Santos at Takeover. So it's like Kushida's already a loser going into it. Even though we love him, he's already a loser, and he loses here. So it's like a double slap in the face. Why even have this? Yeah. Why not just have these guys, have a face-to-face, do whatever, and then just do what you got to do with the Heartbreak Kid that they did afterwards? Because Kushida,
Michaels came out.
Yeah. I was just going to say, for, Kushida, he attacked Legado del Fantasma afterwards, dove off the stage, took him out. They're like, Kushida's pissed. All this, it don't matter how pissed he is. It don't matter that he took out these guys. He lost this match. He didn't get a title opportunity. So, to me, it was just...
What does that do, What is that?
They tried to put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, and it's not going to do anything. It's like Kushida you still present him like a loser.
Exactly. And, we got to see the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He made his return. He didn't even say a word. All he said is you see the big stare down between Santos Escobar and also Jordan Devlin, and he just brings a prop that he, according to a lot of people, made famous. And no, we got actually the real reason. Bret Hart brought that idea of the ladder match. So there you go. He just throws the ladder right there, and he's like, hey guys, maybe can we do it more legit? Okay, of course they gotta go through the unification way. For the fans that don't know, WrestleMania 1994, Intercontinental Unification match. That when they had the famous ladder match, Shawn Michaels against Razor Ramon, and there you go. So now they're gonna go the same route, and then they have a big stare down. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna make the match even better because these two guys are really good. So ladder is gonna be great. But like you said, they do this why? Because they cannot recreate. They have to recreate things rather. And then they cannot build on newer stars. They have to go through the resource from the past.
And as good as these guys are, they're only doing the latter one, like you said, to hearken to the past, to be like, remember Sean, remember Chico, remember how legit that was. And also, when it's a ladder match, it's a no DQ. That means, you can bring out table. And what did I say? I hated this because then Legado del Fantasma is going to come out. And I'm sure Devlin's still going to retain. And then that buries them because that means 3 guys couldn't beat 1 guy. I would have rather seen this just been a one-on-one contest, a legit wrestling match to just see who's the better wrestler. Because that's what Cruiserweight's about. It's about the high flying. It's about wrestling. It's not who can climb the ladder faster. What are you, a bunch of electricians? Are you roofers? What? No, we don't care about climbing the ladder, at least me personally. I love ladder matches as much as the next guy, but this match, I think, should have been a one-on-one, especially, like I said, because tell me I'm wrong, but I know I'm not. Legado's going to come out, and Santos is still going to lose.
I hope not. I mean, and I agree with you that, Legado's going to come out because, like you said, that easily allows them to come out. I hope that, that actually gives Santos Escobar the title. But like you said, Jordan Devlin,
and also, unless Devlin is going to drop it and then he's going to move on to maybe Heritage Cup, maybe bigger things in NXT UK. But, and then if Santos wins, then maybe he'll hopefully drop it to Kushida because now we see Kushida's kind of involved. But I don't give NXT that much faith.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So at least we're kind of trying to make it even better, but we'll see what happens. So that's what we had, and then it's going to go to the main event. Like we said, of course, Overrun 10 o'clock. Can I live? No, can I live, Mr. Regal? No, he issues the consequences for Cole and O'Reilly. They had, like you said, like every single time they're having like a fight, brawls, because it's really personal. This feud is absolutely personal. So William Regal has them in the ring, and he said that they're going to have a contract is right there for Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, and it's going to be for an Unsanctioned match at NXT Takeover Stand Delivery Night 2. So this is going to like, not main event, but it's going to be the second main event. So like Adam Cole just grabs the mic and he's saying, the Undisputed Era was just holding me back. The Undisputed Era is just me. I was the main eventer. I sold the shirts, and I was the longest NXT champion of all time. All of that. You just guys were like there for me. I used them as my props. So it's like it was always me. And I got pissed off, Kyle, because you kind of became like a babyface. All of nothing. It's like you would challenge Finn Balor twice, and instead of like keep challenging or like jumping, being all these things to him, you became his friend. So that was like, Adam Cole, and then O'Reilly said, well, after all this for the 3.5 years in NXT, I grew up. I did some growing up here, but you're still the same asshole that like we got into this place 3.5 years ago. It's like I got tired of jumping people. A lot of like legit lines, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and I like, he's pretty much saying what a lot of fans were saying. It's like,
exactly.
Every week Undisputed Era, there's a 4-on-1 beatdown. You knew that's what it was going to be. Cole stands in the ring, and then the other three goons come in and beat down his opponent. And I mean, everything he was saying was true, but the intensity from Adam Cole was just so much better, I thought, than O'Reilly. At least in the beginning of O'Reilly's promo. Towards the end, he got a little bit more fired up. But I everything from Adam Cole was legit too, where he's like, I pretty much took you, you guys were all bullshit. You're all, from obscurity. I made you legit. You're all just riding my coattails.
You're in WWE because of me, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then O'Reilly, he's like, yeah, I became, a better person. He's like, you're still a prick. You're still a piece of shit. And he's like, when I kick your ass at TakeOver, it'll be the first time in 4 years I can lay down at night and have a good night's sleep. So he's trying to say, all this being a heel, being, slimy, sneaky, all that was weighing on his conscience. And I thought it was good. And then they had to flip the table and, have the pull apart. And we already saw the pull apart when Cole jumped him in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu dojo or wherever he was.
In the dojo,
so it's like we already saw the pull apart. I didn't need to see it again. That kind of, not ruined the segment, but like, tainted it a little bit for me. It's like when you're eating a good meal, this food's delicious, and somebody rips a stinky fart right near you, and you're like, well, it's still good food, but now it kind of stinks a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's how this was. It's like, but, I'm still really excited for this match. And like you said, this is a non-title match. Obviously, nothing like that's involved. But I think it's the match a lot of us really want to see because they have that personal feud. And when you get personal stuff and you get the emotions into it, it really draws the fans into it more so than just Balor and Cross.
That's what does it for you. It's more relatable than Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. Yeah, you want to see that match. Yes. But at least here is like you probably had that friend that like betrayed you, that did you wrong.
And another thing too, to make note of, Regal, before these guys got into it, he said, "Listen, Kyle, you're not medically cleared, but clearly you guys want to rip each other's heads off, and we can't stop it because you guys are jumping each other all over the place. So you signed this contract. That means NXT is not liable for whatever you guys do. So I don't know if it's unsanctioned or if they're just saying no." Okay, so there we go. Unsanctioned. Everybody's doing that now, I guess. Hey, everybody's like, hey, can I copy your homework? What did you get? Okay, unsanctioned. Yeah. Oh, okay, legit. Exploding barbed wire death match. Okay, sweet.
Everything is the same. Yep. Thank God it's finally over. This wars are finally over. I'm so excited about that. They're going to Tuesday. Finally, they're not going to be.
Yeah, because we know they'll beat Impact. So then they'll be like, okay, we're better numbers than Impact.
No, it will be actually fun if Impact starts beating them. That will be absolutely fantastic. But that's the show that we have, family. Thank you so very much for being with us. Tomorrow there's always that double feature. Don't forget that. Jean Paul in the morning with AEW and then NXT UK. Jean Paul, myself, talking about the best show in the WWE. Just do us one big favor. Please subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and also give the video a like so the video gets higher in the rankings. So where else, Paul? Where else can find us?
Exactly. And another favor you can do for us is follow us on Facebook on Rope Break, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, right here, the home of the fastest growing brand and the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Family, we'll see you tomorrow. Double feature. Don't forget, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...